AJ, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Having some Prosecco.
Yes. Sparkling wine, baby.
Sparkling wine. My girlfriend said it's basically champagne, but from Italy. That's
Yeah, they can't call it champagne, so
Yeah.
they had to call it something
else.
Sparkling wine.
So your name, right? AJ stands for
Ajdin
Aydın. So
Aydın.
it's a very common name
in Turkey.
back home.
Turkey.
I mean, in Turkey, but in Azerbaijan too.
True?
Yeah, my uncle's name is Aydın. Yeah.
And what do you guys have it like the meaning?
Aydın. That's a very interesting, good word. Aydın. I don't know. I don't know if it has some...
In Turkey, they considered Aydin, and the meaning behind it is the enlightened one.
The enlightened one.
The enlightened one, yeah.
And you're...
So I've held this pressure since day one.
And your last name is?
Dracic.
Драчич, right.
Yeah,
okay. AJ. Aydın Драчич. So you're from the country of?
Bosnia.
Bosnia.
and Herzegovina.
Well, you used
the
to
mountains
be that, or?
of Bosnia and Herzegovina, to be more specific.
So first question I have for you is...
well, I was born there. Right.
Right. We'll go to Bosnia soon.
Okay.
I want to know what's your problem with the dogs and cats, man.
No problems with those animals. I have some problems with human animals.
Human animals?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And that's just things that I observe that I think are kind of, I guess, silly. Like I was telling you earlier, like Tinder, for example. There's dudes on Tinder that would, showcase their dogs or their cats, these animals that they possess, in hopes of attracting
females
or males or whatever. Yeah, it's like a tool that people are using, man. So that's my beef, because I don't have one, so I can't put it on my Tinder. And I'm losing because of this, I feel like.
It's funny you say that, actually. My girlfriend's a vet, and she told me this one story recently, in fact, yesterday, that she got this person who, like, this client, and imagine what kind of people she deals with, right, on a daily basis, and in New York City, in like a Manhattan.
Worse than white BMW drivers.
Right, exactly. But this girl, basically, she got this little dachshund, like 3 days ago or 4 days ago, right?
Ducks?
No, like dachshund, right? Is that the dog?
Oh, the dog.
Yeah, dachshund. I think. What the fuck?
Is that a breed? I don't know,
That's a breed. It's basically a small, tiny dog, right? And it's a puppy. But now she's realizing, so she does some sort of like social media stuff where she's always traveling and she does some shoots. I don't fucking know, right? She's some sort of celebrity slide, like a, not a real celebrity, but kind of a celebrity. And she is like, well, I got this dog, but now I realize it might actually be too big because it might grow too much, and then I won't be able to travel with it and carry it with me. For me,
now
a dog
it's a burden.
Now it's a burden. It's like I'm gonna probably return it or something, right? And it bothers the shit out of me because it's on you, man. Like you got a dog.
It's a responsibility.
Like, it's not your It's not a. People think it's a украшение, like, what do you call it? It's a jewelry or something. You know what I mean?
Accessories.
It's accessory. It's not a fucking accessory, dude. It's a real child. It's a
life. It's a life you're nurturing. Yeah, man.
And it's like, your parents should have done that to you, lady. They should have been like, oh, let's return it. It's gonna be too big. Like, seriously,
too hairy.
I mean, people do that, right? People do that with the girls.
Yeah.
They get rid of girls because it's not a boy, right?
It's not a boy, yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's, to me, this woman saying that about the dog is equivalent to what they do in China. I've heard they get rid of there was like a whole like
with animals.
No, there was a whole thing with
with one child policy.
Yeah, exactly. Child policy, and there's too many men now.
They're trying to turn things around,
Yeah.
But you see how programmed they are, bro?
I mean, what do you mean?
Well, like, you have all this instruction on what's best, and this huge organization running. Right? One child policy.
Well, yeah, the policy, yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody's like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
they're definitely... and now they're like, okay, we switch it up. Let's go. Keep it going. That's great.
Yeah. So you like it?
I mean, man. I observe from afar and I see certain things, and I think it's effective, I guess. They're effective in managing themselves. And so just imagine, we 330 million here in US of A, and over there, same kind of, in China, same kind of land size, but you on the coast in 4 or 5 cities, you have all of our population. And just 4 or 5 cities there's along the coastline. I mean, so just imagine where you gotta be to organize this, to like, oh my God, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Because next door to them, you have the same amount of populace in India, and different organization structure, different ways of self-organizing, and totally different results, man.
Yeah. Well, our countries, I don't know how many people in Bosnia, but in Azerbaijan, it's
Not
like
many.
9-10 million people, and they can't fucking organize for
We're
shit.
at 2-3 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, many left.
So tiny.
Yeah, many left. Yeah, during the 90s, bro, we had a huge refugee.
Everybody flee.
Yeah, everybody left. Yeah, and I think right now there is a huge push for people to come back to the Balkans, and it's nice. It's nice to see. I would love to go back too, man.
So tell me now, you grew up where?
Well, I was born in Bosnia, a city called Prijedor. It's a couple of cities down north of Sarajevo, the capital there. And I was, born there in the little village, grew up, war started. I was born into a mixed family. So one side was Muslim, the other side was Serb. So the whole Bosnian story kind of. And it was kind of, we got a little crazy. People started fighting and we had to keep moving. And then my parents somehow found out about a UN program where they were running for mixed families to try to help them get out of there. And we lucked out, got into those programs, and they gave us an option. I think it was like Sweden, Germany, New York, or whatever. My parents were like, we want to get out, it's far away. So they jumped to New York, and we came late 90s to New York.
And you've been here ever since?
Yeah, I've been.
So you came in the
Northeast, yeah, 97, 98.
So you grew up here, really? I don't know how old are you, but
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
yeah,
I'm 35 now.
35, yeah.
So yeah, I mean the second part, the longer part of my life, I've been in the Northeast of America.
So mostly lived in New York
and Pennsylvania. Went to school in Pennsylvania out there, Penn State. We are.
And you haven't been back?
Back where? Oh, I've been in 08 I went, bro.
Okay.
After finishing school, I went back. But I haven't been back in this like kind of leisure mode where you like go back home, and I don't know.
So
I was kind of like
no family
out.
back left?
No, plenty of family back there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Plenty of family.
But you don't feel like going?
I don't know. It's not that I don't feel like. It's just I guess there's always something going on in my head where I'm like, I gotta take care of this. And
New York life.
Yeah, all the craziness. Yeah, I mean, man. Yeah. DJing, finishing school, trying to have a career.
That's how I met you. I met you. You used to work in a bar, in a Bulgarian bar, in fact. It's called Mehanata, which is I don't think is not even around anymore. But it was
I think COVID affected them heavily. And
really?
They've moved on.
I've heard that. I remember if you looked up like top 10 coolest locations in New York.
That would best places to dance.
It was because it was so hidden. It was one of those like movie like. Places in Lower East Side where it doesn't advertise or anything. It's like a weird entrance.
The vibe that inside, I think. Yeah.
And all those bands that would play the Bad Buka, was that the guys who played? Where were they from?
Well, Bad Buka, it's like a local popular band here.
But they played freaking like, Eastern European, that kind of Balkan like punk or something.
Are you aware of their with Eugene and Gogol Bordello?
I don't know any of them, but
But that's how the whole thing started. Like he was the guy from Gogol Bordello, Eugene. He was a DJ there, and then he just kind of started getting popular. His band started taking off, and as his kind of aura grew, so did Mehanata a little bit, and people have known him since. They've been kind of this established, like I don't know, dance club in the New York underground scene as far as gypsy, Balkan, Latin.
Right, gypsy punk. That's what it was, I think. Yeah. Right. And I remember you were DJing there. So how'd you get to that?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Where's it like to DJ in New York City?
I was a Mehanata resident DJ for about 6 years. One of the resident DJs. There was 3 or 4 of us. But yeah, after I finished school, one of the girls I went to school with, she went down to Mehanata, and she thought it would be a wonderful fit because I DJ'd in college and stuff like that. So she like fought for me, and she went to this guy and took all the sexual abuse and harassment from him and got me in there. Jokingly, I said it. Yeah. He's just a funny, crazy guy.
Yeah, it was Alex, right?
Yeah,
that guy.
Sasha,
yeah. So yeah, they closed. That's crazy. I mean, I feel like that place, like it felt like it would survive from through everything. That's the kind of vibe it got.
That's what I thought too, man.
Yeah.
Like because they've been through so much. But I feel like he's strictly making a fiscal decision. And he's a little bit older now and a little bit grouchier, more of a grumpy guy.
I don't know if he can be any grouchier.
Yeah.
That guy is like infamous for his stories. Like he was like
how grouchy,
crazy guy. Yeah. He was Bulgarian too. No, he was.
Yeah, he was pure Bulgarian.
Right.
Yeah. Came over young, started hustling, doing his thing.
I should get him on the podcast.
Yeah,
he'd be grouchy.
I mean, imagine the stories that this man has.
Jesus, he's a scary guy.
Why?
I don't know, man. He's like a little.
He was also my business partner at a restaurant with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What I know to that?
He happened.
You see?
Yeah, we just couldn't. We couldn't, I guess, see eye to eye, as they say.
Maybe you should do a podcast with him and see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So what else going on, man? I feel like what's the life? What can you tell people? About
nothing.
Nothing.
Don't ask me nothing. Nothing to say. You're on your own.
Listen, you are a very special.
No
guy.
advice.
You're very special because you have this like moments of wisdom, right? Or moments of like this kind of like things you say.
But that's not me.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, if how that thing comes about, it's through discourse, usually through some sort of expression, through something, right? You're either you're talking, you're doing something. Let's say in music, you're producing, in film, you produce and through this intercourse, through this engagement with others, because they also have a brain and this ability to produce thought. So through that. So I think those moments where things come and they appear like, oh, I haven't thought of that this way. It's not me. I'm part of it, right? But it's the whole ongoing kind of yin and yang, the whole together kind of both of those things, dialectics, right?
So what do you think about, is music something you're passionate about on like as a, you would say main thing or... Not really.
I mean, I think the main thing would be expression, but it's probably for all of us how we express ourselves and stuff. And music for a long time was my main way of expressing things, or expressing myself and whatever I had inside that wanted to come out and whatnot. Yeah, music for a long time was that, and then it just kind of fizzled out the last bunch of years. Well, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but I also feel like everything fizzled out the last couple of years because we've been going through this insanity, of this pandemic thing and how everybody's just kind of on the edge. And now things are getting bad again. And, my job, we started wearing masks for a while at work. Now we're back to wearing masks. And then, there's new fucking variant and this and that, and it's like, and people go crazy again. Everything is heated. So I understand, how people had to learn new professions.
Oh yeah.
Do new things.
Yeah.
Pivot
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Like,
learn line code. That's what they tell us. Learn some line of code. Like if you want to be competitive.
Yeah, well,
code.
easy to say, yeah.
yeah. I've tried.
Yeah. You tried?
I've tried learning lines of code.
Yeah, well,
I'm still trying.
Still trying.
Still learning, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
I started initially like this channel. What I'm doing now, it's like became a podcast, and I have Ajdin Dracic on my podcast. But like, it started with me talking during COVID. Basically, it was like April or something or March, right when COVID basically started. I was like, all right, like
with yourself or.
What do you mean?
Were you talking with yourself and recording? Or?
Yeah, with myself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I was doing basically these episodes because I was part of like a metal scene.
Vlog type thing?
I was part of like metal scene in Azerbaijan in like mid to late 2000s, right?
Awesome, man.
Which was like crazy because over there is, it's a Muslim state. They're not like Iran where you have to be Muslim, but it's officially democratic. But the social standards are like
Muslim.
They expect you to be Muslim. When you talk to somebody, it's one of those countries where Muslim sayings are implemented into the language where you cannot.
Same Bosnia.
Well, here you go. Yeah, you say there's no way to say hello except salam alaikum, right? That's in Azeri. That's how you say. Like even in Turkish, you say merhaba.
Merhaba, yeah.
You're right, but
that's what we used.
That's what you okay.
Yeah, merhaba.
In
when you enter any kind of room, any kind of space, and there's others or whatever, it's merhaba.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we say salam alaikum, which is even more Muslim,
yeah.
right? It doesn't matter. You're
more
Muslim. Right? Yeah. It's like it's and then all these. So we say inshallah and mashallah and Allah razı olsun, which means like hope the God is happy with your choice. Like it's just all implemented the language, right? Where you cannot avoid it, right? So that you don't kind of have a choice. You can be non-believer, but you still use that language, right? Which is whatever. It's not my issue with it. My issue. I don't have an issue yet. I'm just observing, right? Like you say, I'm just talking.
Yeah.
And we were part of this metal scene where we had these bands that are, like cut their wrists on the stage, right? And the stage, it's like a club where normal people go, right? And we just rented, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have a little show here, and then. Yeah, I have videos and everything. I posted that stuff. I'll send you like a couple. Like I made an episode on that, and I was performing after those guys. I mean, they were just fucking all cut up. To me, this is like an ultimate statement. I mean, they were kids, right? They were like 19, 18. They were like these young musicians, took themselves very seriously, right? And that's what teenagers do a lot. Form of expression, no matter what. You can criticize and say whatever you want, but ultimately, to me, it's a protest. And it's interesting and ironic how, like here in America, like nobody cares anymore about anything, right? It's so difficult to stand out.
Well, we care. We care about the dollar, baby.
Okay, sure. What I mean is like, what I mean is like, you cannot. It's so difficult to shock anybody.
Yeah. That's true. We've seen it all.
We've seen it all.
I've seen it all.
Desensitized to everything, any kind of movie, any kind of music. There's so like we pushed all the boundaries.
But you think that's only in America?
In a lot of places in the West, for sure.
That's the world, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely getting there.
Yeah.
But in late 2000s, in Azerbaijan, it was insanity, right? It was like, what the fuck is going on? What is this music? You like Cannibal Corpse, like Rotten Christ, all these bands that are like making this big, like, like we were just obsessed with it.
Because Muslim there is kind of conservative.
Well,
right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It kind of comes with it, even though hip hop music was very popular. Like hip hop everybody was into hip hop. I don't know how, why, but
see, and this is the thing with Islam and Muslim philosophy. I feel like you get to choose. I feel like
choose what,
like what you want to partake in, what you want to participate with. What
but like, don't you think that like what the actual like preaching of like the Quran is usually quite different from what social expectations are. Very often they don't
because there's just so many variables socially, bro. There's so many variables.
Yeah. I just think like that's even something as simple as like in all iterations of like Islam, or you take Christianity, most prophets had long hair, right? There were men with long hair. Like it's not very like well, I don't know if I ever showed my pictures. I used to have long hair. Back home.
I mean, it makes sense.
But but it wasn't looked upon nicely. It wasn't like I got a lot of shit for it by the people. So the thing is like
through society, through engagement in
you know, like catcalling is like they would do that, like long hair calling to you. You know, they would be like, "Hey, long hair boy," you know, like with the, you know, walking through a neighborhood where you shouldn't be walking, like, you know. And I grew up in one. I grew up in like, not like the worst neighborhood, but I didn't grow up in a downtown area. Like I grew up, you know, in like a so-so neighborhood, which was like sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes it's not. Like, and you know, I had to like deal with that. And it's interesting how music, at its core, all it is just music and like this little subgenre. But then the society feels like it's a foreign body and it wants just like to eradicate
because
it.
they, you know, I feel like people, if they can't relate to your form of expression, right, the way you're expressing yourself, like it's a threat sometimes. Like it's a threat. It's like, and it makes no sense because it's just a form of expression. It's what I'm going through, what I feel, what I think at the moment. Right? So I'm going through this music thing. I metal. I think of all this stuff, and I'm just expressing it, man. Like, and a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I was always fascinated by all kinds of different forms. So whatever I saw, I was like, whoa, you can express yourself that way? Like, that's crazy.
Well, I think the threat is a very good use of word here.
Thread?
Like threat, yeah.
Threat, yeah.
Like, because that's I think what's been, you know, happening since the beginning of times. Even, you know, I don't want to go like too artsy fancy now, but like you look at the Inquisition, you know, like.
Well, why do you think that is? Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think it's perceived as threat? What's your rationale?
Well, I think people, you know, especially dogmatic cultures, they kind of getting used to
the
one
binary.
way, right? They're afraid of the change. They don't want it to change, you know, and they're like just scared and afraid of anything that's different. And this is my assumption from just top of my head.
Yeah. Observant assumptions. Yeah, I know.
And I think that's why, you know, when you have a melting pot, right? Everybody, like you live in New York City, right? You can do whatever. Nobody's scared of it because that's what the culture is here. It's just everybody can offer, you know, different things. And
so let me ask you another question. So like this weight that we give to culture. So I mean, culture, I guess, is this collective way of expressing oneself
and thinking.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's everything.
It's heavy. It's important.
It's not important years down, like 5 years from now. It's not important.
But in the moment,
it's important. Because we're so easily discuss the zeitgeists. We are so like okay talking about like zeitgeist of the 80s or whatever, right? And we talk about the war. We talk about we can take emotion out finally, right? But people who experienced it back then, they're very emotional, and they can't speak of it sometimes without emotion. And I'm talking like really extreme situations like a war or something, right?
Yeah, like, I've been there. Yeah, I mean 90s Bosnia.
Yeah, 90s Bosnia was, you know, we had war. We just had a war a year ago. Like. Yeah, and people are very, very like heated still. It's just open wound.
Yeah, and it's crazy that I don't know, man. When I think about this stuff and like you think about it on different scales and different ranges in time, I guess. And we've, as a human species, as an organism, we've been here for so fucking long.
Yeah,
we've been here for so long. Why is it so difficult to figure out how to not do this craziness that we're doing to each other?
Yeah, well, here's something I was talking to Martina
but
about.
I guess 8 billion motherfuckers present its problems, you know?
There's maybe.
So many of us.
Well, so couple thoughts. Like something I was talking to Martina about before you came. Like we won the food chain game. That's what we say. I was making an example. Like it's like we beat the game. You ever play video games? When you beat the game, you're bored. You want another game.
Yeah, abundance. Nothing else to do. Abundance. We're in abundance.
Exactly, because we've done it all. Yeah. Like back in the days, you said we've lived here for such a long time. We were trying to survive. We hunted. We ate. And that was our goal. That was all our
But
problems.
survival now is different form.
But the thing is, well, sure, but let's talk about it for like literally the food chain, right? Literally, we have to get food. Even the poorest people in the world, and I'm not saying like
have
people
to
who are like
consume matter. Yeah,
right.
100%.
Like most people, even in America, the poorest people most likely will be okay. They're not gonna die from starvation. That's unacceptable here. That's like in a Western culture. How would say in Western world, that's already a forgotten thing. Dying from starvation. There might be again some sort of weird group of people or whatever that are exceptions I might not aware about, but I would make that statement though it's a forgotten thing where dying from starvation doesn't happen in the Western world anymore, which means that we beat the system. We beat this game of us being at the top of the food chain. So now we start finding new problems, finding new goals, finding new ways of living. And as you said, like now we're like, okay, who makes more money, right? Who we fight among ourselves. We don't have to fight with the animals anymore, with the lions. So now we fight ourselves.
We are blessed with imagination and all kinds of powerful mechanisms of the mind and of the brain. But yeah, I mean, it's abundance and just figuring out what to do with abundance and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm there with you. Like, but yeah, I mean, still happens, you know. It seems like thinking, thought is a big. If there's certain ways of thinking that's found amongst groups, you know, then that becomes a threat to other groups, and we get into all this craziness, and then all this competitiveness about advancement, technology, and things like that. Value. I mean, value now is like who can generate most value? What's most valuable? And we're just going crazy. Value. More. Yeah.
We keep going from like a tribal state to like more like independent, right? Which is like more Western world where it's more everybody's an individual and I have my set of beliefs, right? And then there's and you could be quite successful in it, right? And then there's I'm gonna make example like Jewish people, right? That are like very dogmatic and kind of tribal. Like right here, like freaking in
the Orthodox community.
South Williamsburg. It starts like in a few blocks. Like we have like a whole block. It's the safest neighborhood in Brooklyn, and maybe in New York City. They're very successful. They own this building. They are my landlords, right? But everybody's right, like everybody here, right?
Yeah,
so we could say they're very successful, right? So they're doing something right. And you could say that, but there's a lot of oppression within. Like, okay, everything has its faults, right? Nobody's perfect. We oppress ourselves sometimes, right? You know what I mean?
That's like mostly,
That's mostly exactly. Like when you're a hardworking person and you're an individual, you become your own prisoner sometimes, right? You can't get out. You're like, I am my own boss. I always wanted to be my own boss, and now I'm the worst boss in the world. So that happens too. So what's the what's the right way?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just, I observe and I form opinions, and that's kind of it. But I mean, I don't know. It's definitely, it's obviously super challenging because individuals who are way more learned about this, way more well understood about this, have access to way more prevalent information in regards to these things. Can't figure it out. So how am I supposed to figure? I can't figure this out. Are you kidding me?
Well, I wish more people thought like you, because I feel like there's a lot of. So here's another point when you say like
pressures,
the pressure, but also I feel like people take themselves too seriously. And they think that they have to have this opinion, right? They think they know how to fix things, right? And that's what you see today everywhere in the social media world. Everybody thinks they're an individual and
advice,
they're so unique.
Baby. Exactly. You want advice?
Right. And they're like, exactly. And they're like, they're going to know this is how it should be done, right? This is how we should run the country. This is how we should handle.
Okay, where do you think that stems from?
Where?
Yeah.
I think... I would assume that our culture built up this thing where empowering, individuals to the point where you're perfect, you should have your vote, you should this. I think that
So
has
what do you think
its
that creates?
consequences.
What do you think that creates? Yeah, what do you think that creates?
I think that creates a lot of pompous people who think they're too important. I think we are like, we don't realize that we are a bunch of an ant colony on planet
ants.
Earth. You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
might be a millions others like that.
See, for me, the simple answer is anxiety. I mean, we have mass-produced anxiety, I feel like, and it's rampant and it's everywhere. And when you try to think about things, when you try to calculate daily life and whatever, like, you're doing it with this thing that you're dealing with, which is anxiety and this kind of state of being and in your mind and in emotion. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Yeah, I mean, and you gotta.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
anxiety
agree with anxiety. It's definitely feels it's in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like contagious.
yeah, it's like a mind virus. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then when you try to think and try to figure things out, it's there.
But we're also very prone to anxiety, like in terms of like panic, right? It's such a unique thing to us and to a lot of other animals, right? Like one dog starts barking, the other one starts barking, and suddenly
It's
the
like,
whole,
let's go
right.
together. Yeah,
Exactly. So we work in the same way, like where panic is created the same, just like that.
Yeah. So
like,
if it's
like a domino effect, and everybody
Yeah,
just
it's,
goes crazy. And I feel like the quiet panic is kind of anxiety. That's like the quiet panic. You know, it's like you are, at any moment shit can go crazy.
but see, and this like my Eastern philosophy, I guess, would come in hand here, because this is where you attack then, right? If you notice these things in yourself, and you notice where you're taken forcefully into discomfort, and you're not feeling good, and what, like, these are things that one should attack. And like the Buddha dudes, they seeked isolation, to fight that, to be able to just be in isolation and by yourself. And so that's one way of attacking stuff like that. I think we look at it and we see that it's a big issue, big problem, and then we kind of don't do much with it.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we're talking about like tribalism against individualism, right?
Yeah. Different modes of thought.
Different modes of, but what's like, I don't want to say what's the right way, right? Because everybody can do clearly, both ways work.
The right way is that we're always, not always, but whatever, we have different modes of thought, and they coexist on this plane, kind of. They coexist and they clash and they come together, and things are produced from that, and that's kind of it. I mean, you're not going to have this kind of unilateral where everybody is like, okay, this is it. There's no way, man. There's no way.
Because there's too many of us.
There's just way too many of us. Yeah. I mean,
so now, like,
even with all this information technology, it's still too many of us. I mean, not that there is too many of us, but there is many of us. That's kind of, like, it's hard to organize this much under the same kind of way of thinking. And
so do we think that 330 million people in one place under one flag is quite a challenge? Like, I mean, like, our country, it's too big.
I mean, if you compare it to others, right? If you compare it to others, it's not, right? Well, if you compare to others have done better, others have done worse, sure. But there's
most big countries are not doing like perfect, like Russia, China, India.
Yeah, I mean, this is always going to be the case, though. Like, you're not going to have a utopia. You're going to have just chaos going on.
Should we have smaller tribes? Like smaller, so everybody kind of who thinks one way should stick to the, like, should we have just 50 different countries instead of 50 states?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just spitballing.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think you embrace the chaos. And you just
because you need the chaos, right?
Huh?
Because you need the chaos.
Yeah, maybe that's my Balkan bias, I'm used to that. I don't know how others probably don't want nothing to do with chaos. They're like, no, thank you. Yeah. Peace is nice.
Yeah, well, depends what
Peace is very nice.
Yeah, but like depends what you think as chaos, right? The thing is that don't we all want chaos? Like, why do we like?
Well,
Here's a thought experiment,
uh-huh.
right? We all like a classic chaotic villains in movies, right? Like Joker
But
is the
that's
best example.
is an emotion, right? It's an
Sure,
emotion.
but we love them. Like we had a Joker mania in like when Dark Knight came out because I don't think it's because he's handsome or what a cool. I think we just have we like when you're in high school, right? When they say, "Oh, it's fire," and fire alarm goes down, right? Aren't you happy and excited? Like why? We want shit to go down. What's that? But that's like
No, it's just it's. I guess you feel alive when you are breaking these rules and these forms that are imposed on you.
but that's the same thing, right? But that's well,
And
the
this
rules.
clash,
Okay,
you're like, all right.
so you want a little chaos, you want rebellion, like that's like inside of us.
Well, yeah, but Hegel talked about the thesis and the antithesis, right? So that's kind of that, right? You have one side of things going against another side of things, and this is kind of binary, I guess, but and they kind of clash, and something rises out of that. So that happens with groups, that happens with individual thought, that happens all around. There's clashes of one side to another, and you have a synthesis of new stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
being born,
yeah,
a star.
right. Some like philosophers, like we start talking about them, they represent like chaos, like openness, right? So you're like a little more creative. So that's kind of like, and then the other spectrum is like order, right, or discipline, right? And then you kind of need both, right? The yin yang that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and I think discipline is this order. Excuse me, this order. I mean, it's like we've decided for that. I don't know if people, I guess, agree with that or feel that way too, but we've decided the people that are in government, the people that are in charge of things, is decided by the rest of us. It's not imposed on us. This is decided in most places. This is decided, even though we have news about it's so bad over there, blah blah blah. Like, this is entertainment. In most places, this is decided by majority of others. This is their best. In many cases, this is their best foot put forward. This is the best way that they know to organize. This is the best way that they know to make things good for everybody, for themselves and whatnot. Yeah, I mean.
You mean when they select the leaders and stuff?
This whole process of how we're gonna do things, right? We identify as a nation state by these magical damn lines that we draw, and then these lines, they.
What the hell is all that? Who drove?
I mean, that's socioeconomic, right? That's all that, man. Like, that's the game that we've, for the last 500 years, have been kind of playing.
What's going to happen in the future? What do you think? We're going to be just one planet and one.
I think the future's in the sky. To me, that's obvious. Like, especially in New York, I think it's very visible. The life, for the sake of a better term, on the ground is diluted. It's gone almost. On the streets and the bars, stuff like that, it feels like a lot of it just went up. So you have all kinds of things going on in the skyscrapers, business meetings, deals, parties, events, just things happening. And they're all on 50th floor and above.
And next thing, they're gonna be in the airplanes and some aircrafts.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, like, when they show how all airplanes kind of go in the same, when they cross oceans, they all go in the same kind of pattern. They all get together because that way they save fuel.
Okay. Yeah.
So they all like come over from all various parts of the world. They come into this one line and they all cross that way to save.
Mm-hmm. What's the metaphor?
I don't know. I forget where I was going with that.
It's fine, man.
Sparkling wine. 11%, but
really,
it's a strong 11%.
Strong 11%. It's maybe more. So you are 12.5.
No wonder I'm so different today.
Yeah. So what you're like a Prosecco guy? Is that your choice?
I've become, yeah. You know, when I was DJing, there was usually alcohol involved in that lifestyle, you know, staying up till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And, you know, I was drinking a lot of beer. And
that sounds like a tough life of DJing, man.
Yeah,
like
bro.
Till 5 a.m. Like, what's going on now? Are the clubs like open to like 2 now, or do you know at all?
I
in New
feel
York?
like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Are they open till 4 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, I think
You think?
there's this whole thing now has created a lot of opportunity, as they say. Opportunity, like you can build parties that are secretive, that are this, that are that. I mean, all of this stuff I feel like is going on. That you have people that are closed at 12, you have people that are closed at 2, you have people that are closed at 4, and this is all part of business, I guess, now.
So tell me about that life of DJing. So you would do like 3 days a night?
Yeah,
3 days a week?
It was 3 days a week in Mehanata, yeah.
For Thursday, Friday,
Saturday, yeah, that was his breadwinner days, I guess, when it was the busiest and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, those were great days, man. Mehanata had some legendary parties.
So you miss it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I miss the vibes that we had, but before they closed down, though, I feel like the vibes were going away because the people were different. Different crowds started coming in, different vibes, and this whole kind of I feel like we built a Balkan Latin atmosphere, and that was kind of pulled out, and new things kind of came out. And when you do that, you know, different people show up and different vibes, and that's kind of it. So this underground great dance place that we had kind of went away.
Yeah, I remember a couple times that I saw when Badbuka was playing, and that's the only band I know that was playing Gypsy Punk. It's just
Punk.
like you kind of don't believe that this is happening in New York City. It's like, you know, you see
well,
like
how come? I mean, there's a lot of us here, bro. There's a lot of us.
But that's the thing. Like, it's such a small place, really, but with so many people, right? That you don't even know that there's a Balkan life. There's a Balkan neighborhood, and there's a Greek neighborhood. There is a fucking Russian neighborhood.
I would think it takes effort. Like you would have to be cognizant that something is possible like this, that something in New York like this can exist, and then it takes some effort on your end to like figure this out and find this. Yeah.
And every tourist,
I don't think anybody wants to do. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah,
shit. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to. They just want to come to easy. Like, all right, this is easy. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Get the check mark. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's what bothers me sometimes when people come and just like few people that even my friends, they would come. They want to see the goddamn bull.
Get the check marks.
Check marks. Yeah. Times Square, the freaking Wall Street bull.
You're killing
Liberty.
me.
Like what's Liberty City? I was gonna say the goddamn Statue of Liberty. I've never seen Statue of Liberty.
Do you comply with the tourist?
Yeah. If my friends come, I'm not gonna be like a smart ass and be like, "Hey, let's go to Mehanata."
So that's why you have friends, and I don't.
That's a good point. Yeah,
because
I'm just like a robot face. I go see the goddamn bull, and they're like, "I also want to walk everywhere." I'm like, "Walk? What is it like?"
Not here.
I don't want to do anything that involves walking. They're like, "No, it's cool. We're in New York." I'm like, "Not
might be for you." Yeah.
Times Square, that's not New York to me. Like that's like
but New York, right? So New York is also so big, and you have so much going on, and it means so many different things. New York is you know.
Yeah, I think that idea when people talk about Brooklyn, Brooklyn's so cool, right? They imagine the hipster.
Yeah, it's just
Brooklyn,
their
right?
own. Yeah, it's just what they're able to.
But I also don't like Brighton Beach is Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Bensonhurst is Brooklyn.
Brighton
you know,
Beach
Bay
is very
Ridge,
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Arab Chinese Bay Ridge is Brooklyn, right? Like used to
Astoria.
be Astoria is all like Arab.
Queens.
Like, you know? It's Queens. Yeah, but
it's a different New York community.
Exactly.
And it's varied. I mean, everywhere, all over the damn place, you have so many. And then Greenpoint, right? You have a whole bunch of Polish people living.
For sure, yeah. So, where do Balkans live?
We're in Astoria.
Astoria, right?
Astoria, Ridgewood. Yeah, the Mediterranean.
Yeah, Ridgewood. You're right. I lived in Ridgewood for a while.
You did?
Yeah, for like a year and a half. on Putnam Avenue, and there was a Montenegrin,
That's right, baby.
Chernogorsky little store. It's called
right.
Europa,
That's right.
and it had amazing figs. Dude,
Wait,
they don't have
where?
good figs. On it's like that
On Forest?
M train. Well, yeah, on Forest Avenue. Yeah.
And right next to it was a Burek spot.
Burek spot.
Yeah,
Really?
it's a Montenegrin dude selling Burek, bro.
Oh, I didn't realize. Jesus. Really? Well, there was a Polish store.
Yeah.
Two of them.
And
bakery.
my aunt's barbershop is there.
Really?
That's
oh,
my
that's
aunt.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I never went to that store, the Burek store.
Oh my god, it's
But
like
that-
legendary
Really?
Burek spot. Are you kidding me?
Dude, legendary in New York.
There's a
is
grandma
like,
in
it
there.
looks like-
There's a grandma in there rolling pillow sheets, bro.
with her feet.
Yeah. You kidding me? Oh my god.
No, but I feel like legendary's thing in New York is like it sounds very exciting, but like visually it's probably very underwhelming. I thought it's just like a some.
I mean, you're not going to a Burek spot for the visuals, bro.
I know, but
I mean,
my point is like I didn't know.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying. Somebody would have showed me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it's I guess the word gets spread out within that community, within the Balkan community. We knew. Yeah,
for sure.
but I guess they don't tell others because I don't know. But Burek is delicious. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
No, I never had it. Like
Burek is delicious.
So Burek, we have different Burek. What's your Burek? Is it like spinach pie kind of thing? What is Burek?
Well, how do you make the Ottomans, they kind of held us down for a while, so we have their variation kind of mixed in a little bit with ours.
What do you put? What's the main one? If I ordered the
Burek,
traditional one.
It's beef, I guess.
Okay,
the beef one, but
so it's like a pie, or
you can get a slice too.
Yeah.
But I mean, they make beef and then they make cheese. So like the cheese is.
It's like you say Bosnian pizza. That's what in America you would say probably.
Yeah, I don't know if it equates, to be honest, because Burek feels like more like mountain food. Like it's heavier, meaning that you go out there, you do some physical labor, you're working on the farm, you're doing whatever, and then you come back, you need to get fed. This is what we got for you. Yeah, like if you're selling cell phones in a wireless store, like that doesn't.
Well, in general, it's like all our cultures, and including Italian food, right? It's poor people's food. It's like just to fill you up, a lot of bread,
empty carbs,
exactly, a lot of pasta, a lot of that kind of dough, a lot of bread, potatoes. Like freaking Russians do potatoes with sour cream, right? What can be like more filling and more like heavier than that. Yeah, you look at French food, then it's like more fancy and like you can get full with like.
Do we have fancy food?
Yeah, I don't think Azerbaijani people have any fancy.
We're a very similar culture.
Yeah, for sure, sure. It's all peasants' food, peasants' culture.
Choban.
But choban, yeah, you say choban. Like our salad, our main salad is called shepherd salad, right? Choban salad, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is, It's like,
and it's delicious.
It's delicious, that's
feta cheese and some cucumbers and tomatoes.
Sure. So in Azerbaijan, if you have choban salad and you add feta, it's Greek salad.
Yeah, they've taken the monopoly on that. The Greeks,
for sure. Yeah, that's interesting. Greeks food kind of also the same too.
Yeah, that's the Mediterranean, Balkans,
all that area,
the southern.
I don't think there's anything fancy that would make like Turks make it, like Turkey,
but it's complex.
Well, I guess
it's complex. No, it's fucking complex.
I don't cook.
It's
a lot
complex
of that stuff. Yeah,
it's complex because it has a lot of variations, a lot of variables when you're cooking. And then you gotta combine these variables. All these things gotta come together nicely in order for you to produce something. That's
of course. You gotta know what you're doing. And there's a lot of like technologies that. So for example, like I'll be with one thing I can adamantly be like cocky about is like I haven't had any kebabs outside of like Georgia and like Azerbaijan that is as good as ours.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I've tried Greek.
Have you tried Bosnian?
No, I haven't. I would like to try.
Dude, cevapi.
Yeah?
I would like to try. I have my own too, bro.
I have my own too.
Yeah,
well, we should do a barbecue. But like look at you, like all came out all the.
Now I'm gonna get aggressive. About the kebabs.
No, but here's the thing, right? Like I've tried Greek kebabs, not
no way.
From a guy.
No
a guy
way.
was like, "Oh, I know how to do it."
No
it was
way.
trash.
No way.
It was literally trash.
No.
I was like, there's no way you think this is good, right? And it was chicken one, which is like the easiest one to make, and it wasn't good. Now we make lamb, right? I would say Georgians really do well pork. We don't eat pork, so because we're Muslims.
Yeah, we have the same,
right? But we make amazing lamb, right?
Lamb.
And we use I don't know, so they use the type of lamb we have back there. Have kurduk, which is like the type of fat there
from the lamb.
Exactly, like the kind, the breed they have in America, they don't have.
It doesn't. Yeah,
so we actually like every time my friends or somebody goes to Azerbaijan, we ask them to bring some of that. And I have a funny story where when my mom came from Azerbaijan, she brought some, right? And
hidden in the
no, I hid it in a suitcase, but the suitcase got lost for 3 weeks. When it came back,
it didn't have that.
No, it smelled like a dead body. It's been traveling for 3 weeks. God knows where. Like
I thought they took the good stuff.
No, that's what they wanted to get rid of it. Probably right. We had to throw away everything. It was insanity. I've never smelled that kind of smell ever in my life, and it was like a few kilograms.
So it was just fat.
It was just pieces of fat. Yeah. Exactly, and it's you cook it with you have to put it together, and it's like
I cook that way, bro.
So we use that fat. We make that fat kebab. Just we cut it in small pieces, and we make it crunchy, and it's literally just pieces of fat that you eat. Like they're like croutons, and they're like phenomenal.
Well, yeah. So like we eat the pig a lot in Bosnia, so we cut the bacon and we fry it in this huge pot, and they get super deep fried, crispy chunks of bacon, and we eat that stuff. It's just pure fat, bro.
Pure fat, yeah.
But I mean, again, in areas where you're physically way more active, it makes sense.
Yeah, true. That makes sense. Yeah,
like you need energy.
Yeah, but our people still more fat somehow. Still, like I mean, I know what you mean.
I don't need it, but I want it. I'm there too, bro. Oh yeah. In Astoria, they have a very nice butcher. Munkan is this Romanian Balkan dude, and he has a bunch of different shops, and he has very nice. We call him Dracic. Yeah, it's just these
like piece of
fried pig,
like pig's fat. Well, listen, I'm telling you, I make really good lamb. I would like to make.
But okay, so
work with you
when you say
time.
kebabs, like my understanding is that we make these little sausage links.
Okay. So like ground stuff.
Ground, right? We ground it and we mix meats usually, and then down there in the Balkans, like it varies, like city by city, the technique, the ingredients, the recipe, it varies, and everybody has their own take on it, and it's like this heavy stuff, man. Like you don't mess with this stuff, like and so I don't know what could like is that this, this is what you mean by kebabs?
So let's let's talk about it. So we make the ground one, the ground. We call it lula kebab, right? Which is a little different, right? Now the regular kebab, which you would expect, you can make like a lamb chop, or like not a chop, like a ribs. You can make ribs. That's a separate thing. Now the standard kebab that you would assume what it is just pieces of lamb. So actual just pieces, no bones or anything, just pure pieces of, and it might have like a little fat here and there, but for most it's just meat. And it's all about the marinade, right? It's all about how you marinate it, how do you get it juicy? How do you not overcook it? Like, and it just, that's really it.
And then you grill, I guess?
You grill it on the skewers. You have to put it a certain way always, especially if you have the fat to work with.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is complex stuff.
It is complex, for sure. And then like when you do ribs, it's very easy to overcook them. So you usually use the bones as a skillet, technically. So you always make the bones on the bottom. You never just do it like every time I see Americans do barbecue, it's like fire in the air. It's like we never have fire. If you have fire, you're doing something wrong, right? You're making it dry. You're drying it out. Exactly. So you have to.
So see, now look how you have to have this pretty good understanding of how heat works, which is thermodynamics. Yeah. So like, so it's complex as shit, man. Cooking is not this. No, it's not this like simple task that, like, you can do it, right? You can cook. But how to get this thing to come out in this form that you envisioned and taste good and all this other stuff, I mean, that's complex stuff, man.
For sure. But I feel like we did it throughout generations.
Because
instinctively.
We have a
right?
history. We have so much data on how to do this stuff.
But then we did it instinctively at first. But then the great minds who actually know physics and chemistry, they use that to enhance the experience, right? And they were like, "Oh, okay, no, you know what? We've been doing this naturally, but this is why it tastes like this and not like this."
Yeah,
you know, so it got on like to the next level,
different level of extraction. That's what that is.
Like my uncle, he makes really good kebabs, and honestly, I learn a lot from him. And he's a anesthesiologist. He's like a smart guy, okay? And you talk to him, he's like one of the smartest people you ever meet because every conversation you have...
it makes sense that he knows kebabs.
Exactly. So he uses, literally, you talk to him, he only uses like physics
to
and
figure it out.
To figure out how to do it. Like, and...
But it's matter. It's matter, dude. You're working with matter. Right?
Exactly.
Yes, you do eat it, but you're working with matter. And I mean, there's many levels of extraction when you look at this thing, right? Molecules, atoms. I mean, if you go further, the quantum level, whatever. Like, I mean, there's many, and you got to understand how all of these things come together in order for you to produce something that we're all gonna.
Yeah. So what do you guys drink?
So I had wonderful kebabs in my restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the one you had
in Astoria with Sasha. Yeah, bro, we had.
I would like to try because I haven't.
It wasn't my recipe. We
not
had
Turkey, not Israel, not any of the Africa, like
Balkans, baby.
Sure, I would try. I would love to try.
Balkans,
yeah,
Chavapi, baby. That's
sure. I would love to try. Tell me a good restaurant. I'll go, like a Bosnian restaurant
around here.
I mean, anywhere in Astoria, New York City.
In New York City, Kafana is the place to go. In Lower East Side, yeah.
Lower East Side? Okay,
is this Serbian spot. It has live music, and they also have Chavapi, and the Pljeskavica is another thing, which is basically the same kind of meat mixture, right? But in a hamburger patty. So it's our take on the hamburger.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love hamburgers.
But we do a little bit differently. We don't. There's no fancy stuff with us. It's just bread and meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like let's get let's get what we need and let's get out of here.
It's like Philly cheesesteak.
Yep.
I love
bread
Philly
and meat.
It's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's like you can put tomatoes maybe. I mean, I love a good Philly cheesesteak is like fucking amazing. Or like Cuban sandwich or something.
Yeah.
I love like a good thing like that. What do you guys drink? What is your like thing?
Oh, rakia, man.
What is that? Rakia. Oh, is it like the Turkish, the anise vodka?
Well, yeah, I mean, so the Balkans, like this Ottoman rule of 500 years left its influences,
Right.
Yeah, so...
So is it anise stuff? Is with the vodka with anise?
No, I mean, it depends. In the regions where I'm about, right, it's Slivovica, which is this plum brandy, right?
Oh, okay.
It's from plums. Yeah, man, we do plums.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's potent, and it's...
yeah,
and my first experience was around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You know how the village experiences. they were making it one day. We had these machines. Everybody kind of in the village had a machine how to make alcohol.
Yeah. Like
it was strange. They make their own stuff. Yeah, man. And like it was just like making stuff, and I was playing around the house. And it was dripping, and I was like interested in what tasted like. So I got shit faced like 5 or 6 years old on super strong plum brandy.
That's funny.
Brain damaging.
You know what we did once? So in prisons in Russia, they drink something called chifir, which is a very concentrated tea. Please.
Okay.
And I mean, like, it's literally in a small pot.
But it has alcohol?
No. So here's the thing. Like, you cook, you brew tea, the whole bag of tea, in, like, a small amount of,
It's potent.
It's just potent. It's like it's impossible to... It's almost like gravy by the end.
So what happens?
You cook it for, like, 3 hours. You got a crazy headache where it's, like, you almost high. Like, you're high with a headache. We've done it once. We were like 16 years old. My parents like went away, or like 15.
Let's do
my
it.
My parents went away. All you need is just a bag of tea, and that's what they do in prison, supposedly,
to get messed up
because
to
that's
escape.
all they have. Exactly, that's all they have. To tea is allowed, And so they would just made their
super potent tea.
Exactly, yeah. But that's like Russian
Clever.
stuff.
Clever.
But it's like I thought I'm gonna just throw up, like because we cooked it for 3 hours, and then it was like a little shot for each 3 people. We did like a regular sized teapot. At the end, you have 3.
That's how we do coffee in the Balkans.
Oh,
Turkish
really?
coffee.
Oh,
yeah.
gee. Well, right. Well,
You
I
guys
know
do
Turkish,
yeah.
we do Turkish coffee, but
same shit. Yeah.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
It's
But
like this little thing, and it's
yeah.
gel, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, Turkish coffee is nice though. I think it's like I have Turkish coffee at home. I make it sometimes.
So what makes it Turkish? Like what is this that we're talking about? That
Well,
makes it
it's
Turkish?
made in Turkey. No, but you
All
make
right,
it. No. I mean, like
To me, it's the viscosity, it's the thickness of it.
the thickness. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know what you're talking about, and it's like you make it in a small pot.
Yeah.
like I have it, like the whole set,
And
at
it's like
home.
gel.
It's
It
just
comes
not-
out gel,
It's
and
like
you just-
espresso, but isn't it? How much different is from espresso? Is it a little thicker than espresso?
And then they tell you fortune from how.
Well,
Do you remember that?
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
we
when they
still
tell
do
you a
it.
fortune from how they turn the cup,
Yeah,
and then how the
Yeah,
things
yeah,
fall
for
down.
sure,
They like
yeah.
read you your fortune.
yeah. You believe in that stuff?
Well, I mean, my grandma did it, and she said that one day little yellow people rule the world, and I feel like we're there.
well.
Little yellow people
So your
running the show.
Your grandma was, a psychic.
She was
indeed.
yeah, man.
Well,
Baba
where
Yaga.
was the lady from? The Vanga?
Baba Yaga, that one?
No. Baba Yaga.
No, but wait, Baba
The
Yaga's
real-
the folk tale, right?
Yeah, that's a folk. No,
The
Vanga-
Bulgarian, yeah, the
Bulgarian
Bulgarian
or
lady.
Hungarian.
A Bulgarian,
Really?
yeah.
That's crazy though.
And she's like this
Vanga.
old lady, and
Everybody
she has
went there. Fucking Gorbachev. Like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not Gorbachev, but maybe
she's still alive.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
No, she's not alive.
I think she's still alive.
Dude, you're bugging. No. She's like, she was like 80 years
Joe,
old like 40 years ago.
I've seen her predictions around the internet still.
Oh, let me see one. we gotta check this bullshit out.
Yeah, she
Vanga.
predicted like some stuff about COVID.
No way. Yeah, Baba Vanga. She died in 1996, man. in
Oh,
Sofia,
okay.
Bulgaria.
Sorry.
She was born in
So
North Macedonia.
yeah, there's some people that are still profiting off of Baba.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're still
you
profiting.
were still in Bosnia when she
Yeah,
died.
man, I was a little boy.
Yeah. So you guys drink that.
Yeah, rakia, man, rakia.
We
Rakia, and we do roasts too. We do roasts. So the village kind of has its roasts. Pig roast was big, and then also the Muslim
you guys
population.
eat a lot of pig.
Well, I mean, Bosnia, there's a huge Serbian population too, so it wasn't
So
like this.
Serbians are
Yeah, Serbians don't care about pig.
Are they? What are they? The Orthodox?
Orthodox, yeah.
like Greeks and stuff.
Yeah, similar similar form of orthodoxy.
Like Georgians and all.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yep. With the halo and the.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice aesthetics.
And that's what I learned when my first year of school. We learned the Orthodox alphabet and all that stuff. Yeah. And then I came to New York, and they were like, "You gotta learn English." I was like, "What do you mean?"
So now Bosnians, do they have their own language, or it's all Serbian?
Yeah, I mean, their own language.
I don't
What is
know.
that? What is that?
I
I mean,
don't-
there's no such thing.
There's
right,
no
man?
Bosnian language.
No, man.
Just, yeah.
I mean, we
So
were.
aren't they the same people? What's going
Yeah,
on
we
there?
were the same nation. Like meaning that.
Sorry for my ignorance, but
No, it's whatever. We all identified under the same kind of identity for a while. Yugoslavians,
Mhm.
Southern Slavs.
And then it was Serbia, Montenegro was the same.
And then
at some
people
point.
decided to leave and get out and didn't want this deal anymore. And this amount of money that people were making was not enough, I guess. So people
It's like
wanted
Indian and
more.
Pakistanis. or
And
something.
then now we're 7 countries.
7?
Yeah, that's great.
1 second. Who are the 7?
Serbia,
Okay.
Macedonia,
Mm-hmm.
Montenegro,
Mm-hmm.
Bosnia,
That's all I
Croatia,
know. I thought-
Slovenia.
Oh well, they were okay. You're right. Yeah.
And
And Slovakia? No?
Slicks. No, not Albania. Kosovo now, I guess, is a
Well,
country.
Albania was no.
No, Albania was never with us. They had their own thing. But Yugoslavia, yeah, Kosovo, which is now a country.
Are they a country
Yeah,
officially?
I mean, some recognize, some don't. So I don't know. some people like yeah, some people like no.
How big is it?
Tiny, bro, tiny.
It's like Vatican.
Yeah, it's a tiny little land, and it seems to be of huge importance, and people are just fighting over it.
Yeah, I remember I had a friend from Macedonia. It was one of my early friends actually, and my first friend from like Balkan. He told me a lot about it, and yeah, she was just like remembering like the day that airplanes flew out. She would see it out her window, and it just was like ruckus happening.
Oh yeah, shelling.
Shelling.
Yeah, bombing, shelling. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember. I remember '94 Olympics. Like I was just like a little Kenyans, little dude watching on the TV. Somehow we had a TV or whatever, and yeah, just the air raid signal goes off, and those things go off when there is incoming bombing, right? So there's planes flying over your ass, and they're about to drop bombs, and the air raid goes off.
Yeah.
So that means
crazy,
you
man.
gotta go shelter, hide in the bunkers and stuff. Yeah, man. So like I was like, oh,
Probably limited space too. Not everybody can go.
yeah, like we had like we built some bunkers, bro. We had bunkers. In Albania, especially, they had shit ton of bunkers.
You still see like in especially South Brooklyn, like you see all those buildings or all the project buildings too. They say fallout shelter. Like they all have shelter.
There's shelter inside from fall.
Yeah, they all have it.
Yeah, and here they had even crazier practices with the nukes and the stuff.
Because they were really expected it's gonna happen. All the 50s projects, they all really were obsessed.
But okay, fine. Like okay, like it's a possibility, it can happen. But putting everybody through it, one, and then two, like putting everybody through it and telling the kids that if they get under the desk, that things are gonna be okay.
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous. I don't know if is that what.
Yeah, they would like. People? Yeah, it was like you part of the drill was to go under the desk, I guess. In school, it's like yeah. If new comes around, bro, desk is not gonna save you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of weird. I don't know.
So, are you really like? Are you a communist?
Well, I don't know if I'm a communist, but I feel like a lot of the philosophy that influences communism, socialism, that whole aspect of thought, I kind of makes sense to me.
Okay, don't you think we kind of like I always see like people, even like Martina that I was talking to, like we kind of like escaped it, right? And we kind of like heard a lot of stories from like what was happening. Like you never feel like like coming to America is kind of like leaving that behind, and like
I was born when in '86 were the last year of Yugoslavia, which was a socialist nation, and I feel like in my childhood I still felt the remnants of this culture, and it was beautiful.
What was beautiful about it?
Oh well, we had this whole bratstvo in jedinstvo, which is like brothers togetherness, and like it was just this vibe of everybody carried around, of kind of accepted others and all their differences, and it was just cool, whatever. Yeah, and we had, I remember like our public transport, like you don't have to have money, bro, like you just get on. And they take you need to go to the city, the bus comes, you get on the bus, and that's it, like and this was part of kind of a building that vibe amongst each other, right? So if money is not this big deal of how we organize in our community, in our society, I think it takes away a lot of that angst like we were talking about. So I felt like a lot of that was beautiful. Like I experienced maybe 7-8 years towards the end, even though the socialism was officially over in Yugoslavia, you still had like, we've had socialism since the late 20s, something like that, officially after the war, so we've had socialism for a while, and the culture and the vibe was printed in the people expressed it, the people lived it, and ours, everybody has their attempt at socialism. Not everybody, but the countries that have tried socialism the attempts are varied. There's different attempt at socialism. It looks different. It's a different different hypothesis on how to organize, and ours was, they say that it was market socialism, where this huge market was allowed to coexist with the state and all this other stuff. And I mean, I don't know, but I remember it just being beautiful.
Well, don't you think you were like quite young to really?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure that
Yeah.
but again, I mean, this is,
it's just your truth.
yeah, I was a little dude, and the things that stood out to me is what, is what I can speak on, But talking with family, talking with people, everybody has their own kind of view on things, and I think that's prevalent now, right? Because it's all different.
Well, now there's a big rise of like interest in like Marxism and socialism, like in the West.
Here.
Yeah, in the West, for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like the pendulum swings, right? People are kind of like are less emotional about it now. They're like, all right, maybe we can try it out
whatever,
again, right?
Yeah. And I think we have a lot of different aspects of socialism. I mean, so during this whole COVID thing, you had this huge failure on corporations and markets, on private enterprise to provide for the people, because it was like, we can't. It doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make profit sense for me to keep things going, whatever the hell. And guess what? The state just came out of nowhere and was like, oh, you can't pay rent? Okay, we'll help you. Oh, you don't have a job? Here's some unemployment.
Well, that's what they've done in the crisis in 2008 and 9 too, with GMC and stuff.
I mean, those are socialist aspects of economy, of ways of organizing.
Yeah, I guess.
So we're like helping each other, like.
Yeah. my concern and my like the thing where I'm like scared of, right? Let's say, is that I don't want to do anything against my will. So like I escaped what I didn't like about back home and that kind of mentality. And let me tell you, like I grew up in the 90s and 2000s in Azerbaijan. People still now have Soviet Union mentality because they've just been there for like almost 100 years. It's gonna leave its mark. So people, older generation, they still think that way. They still think that they can't say things out loud that are, whatever they want. They still have to like the government. They still have to pretend to like the government or whatever. All these things, right? Like,
but you think this is a fault of socialism?
I think it's like, what do you mean?
Well, this
that kind of mentality,
belief, this thinking that.
Well,
I have to censor myself.
So here's the thing. So yeah. So here's my problem with that. Everywhere it's been implemented with force, right? And that's my issue.
No,
that it's never been.
This is not true.
Okay, let's elaborate.
Let's fight. I don't know. I don't think this is true. There are on the big stages. I feel like it has been implemented with force. But that's because of existing things. Like, in order for something new, in order for change to come in, which was socialism at these countries that have tried it, force, unfortunately, was required.
Well, that's my problem with it.
So how are you going to change things?
Well, exactly. That's why I don't think it should be like things that are implemented by force. Like there's going to be people who are going to pretend
the
to
stuff
agree with this.
The stuff that's existing is enforced.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The thing is, like, if I disagree with something, right? If I
like Tsar Nicholas and before, let's say, in
like
Soviet
they killed
Union.
the guys. They killed the guys to change, to create a revolution. It wasn't like, hey, let's vote the Tsar out and let's select Lenin, right?
They killed the guy because his fucking people tried to save his ass. They killed the guy because he was trying to be, he was trying to get away.
Yeah, but
they were like, yo, you are nobody no more. You understand? And this is the thing about people, right? We organize. So everybody. So if 40% of the population is like, okay, we want a czar, and the 60% is like, no, change comes, bro.
Well, is that what happened? They just outvoted him? I don't think so.
Well, you can't outvote stuff like that, right? First of all, I don't think anybody's going to go down, right? I mean, and once you're in this power, because there is not just you, but there is a whole system that's behind you of doing things that you're trying to now change, right? And we talk about Soviet Union, but in China, it was even worse, bro.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, in China, it's even worse. It was bigger war, bigger casualty numbers. It was even worse what they went through.
I guess my thing is that like look what happened in England, right? They still have queen, but it's just she's just disempowered. She doesn't have the same amount of power.
Thing, yeah.
So, but it happened more. Whatever it is, like here's my thing with this. It's like I'm against like a revolution. I think the changes come with time. I think there was never, hold on.
It's a force.
But my thing is like there was never iPhone 1 and then 11.
Yeah.
We went from iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4. It took us like 10 years to get to iPhone 12, and honestly, it's not much different than the first one, really. And it's gonna take some time for it to have even cooler features, right? There's no institution in human like nature. Mm-hmm. There's no in nature where we do things right away. Every change, everything we've done comes incrementally. We're keen to do incremental change. We can't just change our mind on something overnight. It has to happen incrementally. But it's not
why
fun.
Not?
But
why don't you? I feel like we're being forced to be that way now.
I don't think so. I think that's our
nature. What do you mean? Overnight, COVID, pandemic, or do things differently? Let's go.
No. I'm not saying we're not doing it. So my continuation to that is that we like more like a radical stories. We like chaos. We also hardwired to telling our grandchildren that, you know what, it was one way and then we stood up and fucking overcame this and killed the tsars.
To me, this is ego. This is all just ego. Like this is.
I mean, sure, it is ego, but we it's more satisfying to us. Even if the change is like shitty, but it's more satisfying.
I influenced something. I impacted something.
We made it exactly. So. I mean, that comes to the problem of ego, but that's my problem with it is like incremental, like every complaint people have right now, every complaint from racism to anything is going to be solved. In like 300 years, we're not going to have racism. You know why? Simple answer. I'll tell you why. Because we're all going to be the same color. The globalization already started.
We're going to be brown as fuck.
Yeah, we're all going to be like Arabs. We're all going to be mixed.
I can't wait.
You're not going to live through that. I'm saying like in a, 300, 500, 1,000
How
years.
you know I'm not going to live?
Well, I'm going to make
an
assumption.
Now you're trying to project the future. And I take offense to what you're projecting my future. I want you to read my cup differently.
Yeah, well, listen, man. Maybe you're going to be the first one. You're going to look like Emma.
I doubt it.
But you get what I'm saying. I say that problem, racism, in 300 years, is not going to be a problem. We're going to be looking at us as savages now.
No, racism. Okay, so here, I'll go crazy on you. Racism is an economic function. Racism is a commodity. Because around racism, you can create ideology, ways of thinking, and you can create what? Ways of participating in economic society.
Well, I don't like ideologies. That's the thing. This is all of that. Like that's why I have this. Then
you go back to your mountain, sir, and you go get your goats, and you leave us alone.
Well, no, I came to America because I like the individualism part, where you can just be your own thing, and
that's everywhere. That's not just America. They were just like that good marketing teams, bro. That's everything. Yeah, that good marketing teams. They sold overseas and throughout the world. That hey guys, we have this awesome setup.
But I think it works. I mean, without the American dream thing, I think there's something to it that it's like gives you that freedom that comes with the consequences. Freedom doesn't come
freedom
with,
in what? From who?
From everything.
What are you talking? No, how? Come on, man. Lenin. When they asked him, they're like, freedom from what? Where's your freedom from who? Like this is imposed. This is self-imposed in thought that we are not free. You're free. You've always been free.
Well, here's the thing. Like when you are, let's go back to a smaller example. Right? We talk about like a small group of people, right? Like we're in Azerbaijan. I'm a part of subgenre of metal, right? And I live in a society where metal is not accepted. Right? I'm not free. I don't feel free. Yeah, I can do it, but it comes with great effort to be free
and consequences and repercussions. Yeah,
exactly. Like, listen, a girl wants to be a virgin before she gets not a virgin. She doesn't want to be a virgin before she gets married. That's a very common thing, right? Because the society will really judge you. Your father will disown you. Like the social, those constructs that are like implemented. I don't want to use social construct as like,
but it is.
That's what it is. Trite to use that word nowadays, right? But
it's a good word. Yeah, it's a good concept.
Exactly. You know what I mean? These are made up things that are like we have to follow them for us not to follow what I want to do. Even if I want to do something stupid, I should be allowed to do it without this judgment.
We don't have to follow them.
Yeah, but
this is like this happens with me and my parents.
Point is like in New York, in America, most places in America, definitely in New York, you can do it without anybody judging you for doing whatever the fuck you want to do. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying like very primitive.
Okay, well, I'm gonna disagree with you because this is most places in America. If we're talking about physically land, it's not the case because it's a huge place. The middle of it has its culture, has its way of doing things, has its understanding, has its way of existing. The coasts are a totally different beast, baby.
I mean, sure. But
coasts are totally different beast.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that if I go to somewhere in Midwest and some very conservative place,
you will not have any problems, bro. You won't have any problems.
I agree with you. I won't have any problems. Like even if they don't like me at first or something, right? I still think like if I want to,
they don't like you because it's fun.
Sure. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be anywhere as bad as me living in Azerbaijan doing metal stuff and dealing with the shit. You know what I mean? I'm serious. It's so dumb. It's so primitive. Like these examples are like so kind of absurd, but I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah, but it's a reflection of the paradigm, and a paradigm is usually tied to a time frame, and right. So it's a collection of thought and how people think that's associated to a time frame and a place. Azerbaijan, when was it? 90s, early 2000s?
Which one?
When you were doing your metal stuff?
Yeah, like mid 2000s, late 2000s. Yeah.
So, it's a reflection of that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't feel like a victim or just I want to make sure I don't feel like a victim or anything. I'm not saying I have this big chip on my shoulder.
But nobody cares how you feel.
Exactly. Nobody cares. No, I agree with that. Nobody cares and nobody should.
Yeah.
These are just observations, and it's just here's the thing. I think very low of humans, okay? I don't have this big opinion that like I have my shitty life that's going to last anywhere between 70 to 80 years. It's not a lot.
Okay, but that's not what
I want to have a fulfilling life. I want to have fun. I want to hang out with my dogs and just like be free from this anxiety
100%,
shit.
and that you can do that.
America allows me to not worry about anxiety, not worry about this COVID or whatever the fuck. There's the big issue of the day thing. I can actually be like, okay, I don't have to care about it.
I can just do my thing.
Do my thing. It's not imposed upon me. I feel like back home, everything is imposed upon you. The social anxiety is
everybody gets to experience it.
Exactly. And if you disagree when you're in public, it's even worse. It's even worse. It's like, what did you say? And they'll beat you up. They'll beat your ass up.
Oh
it's
yeah, I know.
Physical pain will be guaranteed.
I mean, I went through similar stuff because of religion.
Absolutely, that's religion. A big one.
When I was young, certain parts of the town, religion, if you're like this, if you're like that.
Absolutely. I was just telling you how the religion is imposed in the language.
Do you realize that we're animals?
Like, I know that we're animals.
Like, you shit, you understand? Like, you have waste that comes out of your system. Like, this is who you are, bro. So, like, when we...
Like, I know that I'm an animal.
Right. So, when we look at these things and we're like, oh, it's so bad... it's like a dolphin trying to...
Yeah, that's why I compared us to the colony of ants on this planet 100%, Earth.
Yeah.
I'll tell you more. We're a disease. Ugh. We're an infection on Earth. How about that?
Ugh.
Listen, but what is like a positive or negative? But here's the thing. Like, do you think we're gonna live here forever? I'm saying, like, how long is million years?
How can you... Yo, bro... Okay, so let's say that we partake in this theory of evolution and this change over time in biological matter, right? So change occurs over time, and even in biology, in this living matter, matter that is complex as fuck, right? So how how it's been so long that, and we've this is the form that we've gotten to. How can it not be this super complex top of the fucking line form, bro? It cannot be nothing else but we are the apex of everything, bro. Because we've survived so much. And yes, on the individual level, on the perspective of the singular human, it's one way. But we are also an organism that's 8 billion almost strong. And that's a singular organism together of humans that just, yeah, like ants on this planet that are working together to live, to survive.
To survive. That's all. Ultimately, that's all it is.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Sure. But my thing is that I don't have, like, there's no proof. And, that's a lot to say, to ask for proof, right, for these things. But there's no data to support that we're not going to be eradicated like fucking dinosaurs and shit. We've been on this planet Earth only a little bit.
So now we're talking probability.
Well, we've been 15 billion years, the Earth, but we've been here for last what is it, 200 years.
And we got Elon Musk. So
listen, if
he's gonna send us, he's gonna send us to a planet. I'm not gonna have to drive there. He's just gonna go by itself. I can't wait.
No, listen, sure, I'm all for that. But my concern is that
China will stop Elon and go there first.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and now we are. That's a whole nother conversation. We're punishing Elon for shit. I hate that whole thing. He's
who's we?
I mean, the society, and he's as human, so he's very.
I'm not doing it.
I know, but people do. I talk to so many people who don't like him, say he's a fucking asshole. Whatever.
How's that punish him? That's just a shitty opinion
but
that
the
I
thing
hold.
Is but he's very susceptible to that kind of criticism. He's a human. He is though. He sold all of his shit and stuff, and now he doesn't even own a house.
But he's motivated by what?
I mean, I hope he stays motivated. That's all I'm saying. I'm just thinking that as every other human, he's fragile to shit like this. And any moment he'll be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna help you guys anymore. I'm just gonna go live.
Yeah, I don't think so. Stalin tried to quit 4 times.
Really?
Yeah, and then he let him.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, nope, we need you.
That's the guy who should have fucking left.
So if Elon tries to quit, I don't know if they're gonna let him, bro.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, back in there, boy. Let's go.
I want to get that.
But this is how it works, right? So we give this huge weight and importance to individuality, to Elon, to what Elon is.
I mean, he's quite special, though.
Yeah, but he is special because of those around him. He's special because of those who built this ability to exist as this individual, to have this importance given to you, to decide on all these things, to drive our ideology. But that's built. It's the same thing with Stalin. They thought at that time that this was the best way.
Well, I think it's more complex.
Yeah. And they put him up there, and he was like, I don't want to do this. And they were like, yeah, too bad.
I don't know how much he didn't want to do this. He was like the fucking...
he didn't want to do it, bro.
I don't know.
He didn't want to do it.
I don't think there's enough information for us to know.
Oh my God, bro, there's plenty of information.
He was the henchman. He was Lenin's henchman. He was like the fucking...
He didn't want to do it. And Lenin didn't want him either, I don't think.
I think
Lenin wanted somebody
that's
else.
The only guy he trusted from. Like now we're like doing like the bro science.
Plus, he was a bank robber. I don't know if you know.
Who, Stalin?
Yeah.
I don't know. But he was a tough guy. He was a tough guy who was the henchman of the Lenin.
What's there not to love?
Yeah, you are,
I mean, and especially for us Slavs, like we have a different kind of...
I feel like he killed all people who were smart, who had anything to fucking do. Like, how many people he killed?
Bro, they were attacked. You understand?
Who was attacked?
Soviets.
Okay, sure.
So...
I mean, yeah. I mean...
So you're just chilling. You're just trying to do all this stuff, and here come the wonderful
and when
Germans.
you say attacked,
Attack?
No, hold on. I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not talking about the Germans. I'm saying he would kill his own people.
I don't know about this stuff, man. I don't know about this. This is like hearsay through one word to another through some dude who said blah blah blah. I don't know about this stuff. I know big picture stuff because there's the most data on stuff like that, and I have access to it. This individual, I don't know. I know that there was a whole bunch of fighting going on for crazy various reasons, and the biggest death and the biggest count was during the war. And it's not like he went to try to get shit. It's not like he went to conquer. You know, they came at him, bro. They came at him, and they came at what many, in the socialist camp believe is the reason why, because you are operating your economy under this socialist banner. You're operating in a certain way that spreads certain ideas, and many didn't like that. Cheers, man.
Some red wine.
Jaban.
What is that?
Are you guys done with the war?
With what? With the war?
Yeah,
Armenia
and Azerbaijan. Wasn't there some like issues?
We got our lands back, so we've been waiting for 20. No, not 20. What the fuck am I saying? 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah.
So what happened in that? I don't even know that much about that.
It's basically if I had to make it short.
Yeah.
It's the land, that we border with Armenia.
Mm-hmm.
There's a piece of land that belonged to us.
This is your Kosovo.
Correct, exactly. And they took it when the reason Soviet Union collapsed. It started with a lot of things, but civil wars between
amongst
a lot of
the
smaller tribes. Yeah. They started a lot of civil wars, and one of them was ours. I think it even started with ours. I think that was the first one, Armenia Azerbaijan. They basically were like, okay, we're taking it, and they took it by force. They, killed a lot of our people. This is like, people have no idea, but this is our history. Like, you go to downtown Baku in Azerbaijan, it's like
it's felt.
It's felt, and it's all like we have the cemetery. We have cemetery that's like for people. Like, it's like right there. It's all like basically cemetery. Like, we have for all the people who died in that, and we have like a fire that is never ending fire for them. We have like the
in remembrance,
exactly. And it's all in downtown. You can go and visit.
So how do you feel about this? This stuff is strange to me. Like, why do you want to keep remembering this?
I mean,
why are you stuck on this?
Well, because
is there nothing else that we have done to each other that's not as important as this?
So,
like, forget about this shit. Let's move on. That's it.
Well, that's a very good question. Now, the biggest problem is that we're very butthurt because it was taken from us and it's theirs, right? And
I understand this very well. It's the same thing down there in Balkans.
Right.
Yeah,
but now we got it back. And we're quite proud because a lot of them are very ancient lands that belong to us. Because the thing is, like, when they took that piece of land, they took a bunch of other land with it. There were all the neighboring villages were taken as well.
How does one claim land?
Well, officially, it's not even like theirs. So for 30 years, for 30 years after that, we gave it to them. Here's the thing: our president who became now it's his son, is the president, Aliyev, right?
To make things okay, to make things good, he gave him some land.
Exactly. He was like, okay, you know what? The war is
over.
Take
this shit,
because we're not ready for it. We were not, we're
not gonna fight you.
Exactly. Take it.
Yeah.
For now, for next 30 years, we've had healthy
competition.
Negotiations.
Over
the land. So because officially, by the international law, by UN, the land, the name, the official state of the land has been, it's Azerbaijani lands conquered by Armenians. That's what it was by law. So Armenia is supposed to give it back by law, but. Okay, they're like, all right, we're not giving it back. Like, what is?
Who gives a shit about your international law?
Exactly. So that's what it's really been. But here's the key. For the last 30 years, Azerbaijan has been working on their army very, very hard.
Yeah, I saw it. So that was the display.
So last year we were like, all right, international law, it's ours.
Here's what
we're going to take it back by force, and no country in the world can get involved because we're not breaking any law.
So how come you are for force when it's for Azerbaijan, but you are against force when it's commies and socialists.
Because I'm a flawed person, just like everybody else. Because eye for an
When
eye, baby.
Stalin is like, you're gonna do this, you're like, no.
So here's the thing. The thing is, like, we are humans, and I hate the argument where it's like, well, why do we have to fight? Why do we all have to? Why can't we just be peaceful, right? But the thing is, like, conflicts are very complex. Every time you have a conflict with your sister, with your brother, with your mother, they're very difficult.
Complex, yeah.
There's a lot of emotion. We have emotional attachments to it. They're not as black and white. It's not like I took your toy and you were angry. It's more than that. Sometimes it's historical. Sometimes there's more to that.
And what is emotion? Like, what is even emotion? Like,
emotion. It's personal. Once you hurt me, you hurt my brother. It's personal. That's all it is. So it's the country. You killed my people. Now it's personal. Like, Armenia can't get over the Turkey genocide that Turkey says
that they did. Yeah,
like,
I know.
100 years.
Yeah.
They're
I mean, even in the Balkans, it's the same thing. They can't get over the Ottoman rule.
Ukraine, Russia now, Palestine, Palestine, Israel. It's always the neighboring countries have issues. It's just,
but why keep peddling this shit?
Canada and US.
Why keep peddling this shit? I mean, we're in 2020. Right? My fucking phone can do all kinds of crazy things. Why are you keep peddling to me this about the past and all the idiotic things that we've done? Like, 100%. The past is the past, and it's idiotic because it's the damn past. And we did stupid shit. Let's go.
But the thing is, like, when the issue is not... Well, hopefully, now the lands are ours. Like, officially, the war is over. So...
Yeah, but now
in 30, 40 years, maybe they'll start going back to each other's place and visit each other. In 100 years, they'll be friends again. But the thing is that it's too, like, we just fought.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So
it's the same thing in the Balkans.
But the issue hasn't been resolved. Has barely been resolved.
Yeah, and they say it takes a couple of generations to move on.
Exactly.
From this. Yeah.
So that's really that. Look at Jewish people; they live fine in Germany, But I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case 50, 100, like whatever, 1947. That wasn't, the case. Like.
So conflict, conflict where it can't escape.
And when we say conflict of, like, not just one person, but like a country and a group, where, like, the whole new generation read that in like, I was born in 1990, so I didn't see the war really, but I was taught that quite well because, like, I remember I was in 3rd grade. And the commission, the school commission, is gonna come today to test you guys. Not on math. That's what I thought. It would be like, oh my God, I gotta get my math together.
Baby.
It would be like, who are our enemies? And we were like, Armenia. Like, everybody knows that shit. Like, I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. That's happened to me. I will never forget it. It's crazy, but
So this is when it reminds.
But guess what? But they raised very brave people who last year went to fucking war. Everybody 100%. Went with pleasure. Nobody was like, oh fuck. People went like fucking like insane. Like, it was quite supportive. Everything, like, honestly, I've never seen my country so supportive and so united
together.
Like, as I see it last year.
But
it was emotional to me, and I get emotional now. Sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, like.
But Hitler did the same thing,
Like what?
Well, he gathered everybody and everybody in this kind of unison, and because we are attacked and we're the underdogs and people are after us and Jews are taking all the money and people are like, okay, let's get them.
Well, but the problem is that people agreed or disagreed. You have dictatorship.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you get to this fucking point, bro? How do you get to this point where you're like, you know what? Let's go. I mean, I guess life. I guess life is fucking crazy and complex. But man, I come from it. I come from this place of conflict, and growing up, I was surrounded by it, but it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
unless money.
Well,
more money is involved, value, economy, and all that stuff. Then things.
Yeah, I think a lot of times that is involved. That is.
It's huge. Yeah.
I mean,
and it's a competition also. Like, it's a competition of, and there was this dude I was listening to also on a podcast, and he was talking about, in like 20, 30 years, that we won't have any more human casualties from war. That is going to come to a place where it's about technology.
Yeah.
It's about drone versus drone.
Yeah.
And who's better is better. And they get the prizes, they get the loot and whatever. And that's it. I mean,
that's better.
Go fight in the desert somewhere. Whoever wins,
I mean, the thing is, like, conflict is So, and this is my thing with the like that argument of like, why can't we just all be friends, right? Like the thing is like
Kumbaya.
but those people, a lot of those people I know who are like preach that, right? Or say they don't have good relationship with their brothers, they don't have good relationship with their mothers. Like,
but this is
try
why
to fix that.
This is why they preach that, you see, because it's personal, it's internalized. Yeah. So then you're just projecting what you think are the solutions onto things.
It's like, well, I can't fix my relationship with my mom because, well, that's unfixable. Well, you won't fix Azerbaijan Armenian conflict neither.
But I mean, and then this notion of fixing, like we really think that there's fixing something. It's an ongoing thing.
Sure.
Time.
It's maintenance. How about that?
Maintenance. Yeah, you're handling it. You're taking care as much as you can.
Any moment it could go.
Yeah, bro. Sure. Yeah. Like we in the Balkans, we were brothers. There weren't things that,
dude, Armenians, Azerbaijanis were brothers.
Same shit. Yeah, I'm sure. And overnight, this guy said this guy said that. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's it.
We're blowing up mosques. We're destroying each other. We're killing each other. Like, what the fuck?
But here's the thing. What I was gonna say is that like conflict is so important to our nature, to our animalistic nature. Like it's just there, and you can, no matter how, we are hardwired to some of these things like jealousy, things like love, hate. Like we're all hardwired to that. That's not something we have control of. These are our animalistic instincts.
Yeah, feel.
And conflict is that too. Like you see like two dogs. Like I like making examples of like animals because we're the same way. Simplified. Exactly. Like you have like animals usually have. I forget what it's called, but I say either they flee or they attack. Right, or they fight. Yeah. It's not. There's never middle. There's never like negotiate. It's either animal runs away and like accepts defeat, or it tries to fight back. Right. That's it. There's no second nature. That's why with dogs. You see that very clear,
okay, fine.
And we do the same.
Fine.
Kind of.
But I want you to take on this thought. Whatever thought, idea, whatever.
Thought
experiment. Yeah. I mean, so the brain, this thing that we hold, that we carry in our skull, right, is a muscle, right? We understand it to be a muscle. So imagine a muscle that's been working out, that's been tearing itself apart, building itself back up over millions of years? I mean, since when's the inception of the brain in an animal? Since how long has this been going on? I mean, so if we understand it from this evolutionary kind of standpoint, change over time, and this muscle that's so fucking extremely stressed and worked out and so strong, you tell me that we can't overcome this?
Well, I mean, but go back to like...
Are you kidding me, bro? Like, I understand that we will have some occurrences where things break, where things fall out of place. You have conflict, you have destruction, you have... Yeah. Well, sure. But we should be able to figure this out where the majority of the occurrences, and I think for the most part, we are there. It's 8 billion.
That's my point. Yeah. So my point is a couple of things there. First of all, like it's not really one muscle, right? With every born, you have a new brain, right? And if you throw that child in the fucking jungle, it'll know nothing about anything, right? So it's all about the knowledge that we capture.
What do you mean?
We document throughout the years, and we give it to the new.
But it's a combination of those things. When you get into this world, when you become a conscious living being, right? Your brain, this muscle, starts recording, observing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it also has from your parents.
Sure. Like
genetic information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Possibly. I'm not like
I guess.
Right. So I don't know how exactly how it works. I would assume that it's more comes from like, again, my thing is like you look at Mowgli, right? The jungle book.
Yeah, the jungle dude.
Like the whole idea is that he's not gonna know anything about anything if he stayed in the jungle.
But it's not anything. It's just a different thing. He knows jungle life.
Sure, but
that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's life amongst fucking crazy conditions.
So my point is like your brain can only take from most of it from the environment, right?
Right.
We're talking about basic things, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So now coming back to it,
But
we've come a very long way from like the Neanderthal, or not Neanderthal, like Homo
yeah,
sapiens, basic life
from wherever we come from. Yeah.
So it works. What you're saying, it does work.
Yeah.
We keep giving that knowledge to the new generation, and we take it and we continue on. We move on, right? It's not like we always start
this
from
organism
the
keeps going.
Correct.
Yeah.
We keep going. Now we have skyscrapers, and we
That's
go
right,
into
baby.
space, right?
That's right. Elon.
Right. So so it does work. But the thing is that, and even with the peace on Earth, I do think we are getting there. It just takes time. It just because
I get
every
that.
war we're talking about still has happened, or the big war happened like almost 100 years ago. In 20 years it's going to be, in 25 years it's going to be, well, really in 20 years it's going to be like the Great War, the Great Second War.
We talk about it as the big war. Meanwhile, China and this whole Asian part of the world, their war was even bigger in terms of casualties. And we don't even...
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely...
We're just like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, little yellow men.
Yeah, that's... that's fucked up.
40-something million, bro.
Yeah, I mean...
When the commies when the commies fought the Nazis, 40-something million died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I just imagine the sacrifice. I mean, it's insane, bro.
Yeah. I mean, sure. I understand. But
That's
when
insane.
you have 8 billion people on Earth.
That number, I say it a lot, but it's very hard to wrap your head around. And like, well, what the fuck does that mean, man?
I don't know what that means, yeah.
8 billion,
It's
bro.
an ant colony, Listen, I think my point is, like, I'm an optimist. I think everything, like, I mean, I don't know.
Are you an optimist, or do you want to be an optimist?
No, I think I am actually an optimist. No, I see the world in an optimistic way. I feel like, we are the way we are. Like, I think all these things that we're hardwired to, even the conflict, right? Like, it helps us. Because
deterministic.
Like, listen, if somebody just starts knocking on my door and starts breaking my door, right? And they can just, if I'm not a conflictive person, if I'm if I'm not hardwired to conflict and defending myself, I'll be like, all right, come live here, no problem. No, I'm going to fight back, and it's going to end up really badly.
You're going to fight back?
Yeah, I'm going to fight. You want to fight back? If somebody knocks on your door and starts breaking the door and says, I live here now.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the real, extreme situations. That's
I'm
not saying if my friend asks me to live here, I'm not gonna fight back. No, I'm saying if somebody starts breaking the door,
imposing,
or says get out, I live here now.
Force starts getting applied.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a need
at that,
for these things.
At that point, when somebody else decides to impose force on somebody else, this is an attack. I mean, at that point, your options are very limited.
But that's why we need that conflictive,
my thing is
nature.
We also, sure, this is it's there, but we also need to work on, I guess, figuring out a way that this doesn't arise.
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
Plan for this to go in a different direction.
And I think we're doing quite well. That's why we have these rules. That's why I have a lease here. That's why I have a contract that says nobody else but me can live here. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. I know it's like bureaucracy, but sometimes bureaucracy is appropriate, right? Like, because we have at least
whatever works.
Rules that
whatever works.
That's all we have. We can figure out for now. That's the best we can do with figuring out how to deal with this. Like, maybe Elon Musk is going to be like, you know what? I have a better way how to deal with it. Some great mind.
Yeah, and he's just going to download this app, and it's going to make all your decisions.
Sure.
And I can't wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait.
Exactly. Like people talk about capitalism, right? Clearly, I don't know how you are. I believe in capitalism, right? I think that's the greatest way of social organization.
It works.
Exactly.
It works. I mean,
that's a very good way of saying
it.
I think it works.
Make more money. People are motivated by making more money.
Yeah.
For some people, it works.
I think that it has its flaws.
It has its place.
It has its flaws. It backfires. It could be very evil, but it's the best we're able to come up with. That's my opinion.
Well,
I don't think we don't have
I don't
anything
know if
better.
it's the best because, in my opinion, in China you also have very, very, very strong capitalism. There's a whole part of their economy.
So they did, yeah, and that's why they started striving.
That's
why they started striving.
Well, okay, hold on, take it easy.
I don't think they've been like, that's why they have this boom of things. They
Yeah,
create shit better than anybody else.
In 78, when Deng Xiaoping decided to open things up, and this was, decision of everybody, I guess, to let in foreign capital, to let in foreign investments, to work with foreign companies, to do all this stuff. He opened up China, and China has kind of boomed since then and exploded. And, in many circles, it's considered that he basically deployed a trap to pull in capital, pull in investment, pull in all this money, get China all set up, build up China, which, I mean, yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, and I mean, it's an unbelievable achievement in what they've.
Well,
dude, I mean, I don't know if you've seen what they do, what the fuck they got going on there, bro. But like, for example, when they celebrated this 100-year anniversary of socialism, communism in China, like they had this huge light show. Okay, and this light show was in almost every big city. And it was across all the major buildings. Okay, so now, in order to build this, right? So all these buildings got to get these LEDs, all this light work, then all this computerry has to go behind this to make this work, I mean, that's an incredible achievement. It's not just like, oh, whatever. In parts of USA, I can barely get light, bro. I barely have street light.
Well, that's what you're saying. I remember, for me, I was like 6 years old when they opened this little park next to my building, right? Where I grew up in my neighborhood. We opened this park, right? And the mayor of the county came, right? And ripped and cut the fucking lenta, right? Whatever the fuck that thing called. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the little with the scissors.
Yeah, with the scissors. So he cut the little thing, right? Because it was like, we opened this park for kids, right? So, and I remember.
Always for the kids. This is that mafia bullshit, bro.
About a month and a half, all the light bulbs went down, right? And when I left Azerbaijan 14 years later, the light, nobody ever changed the light, okay? So that's
when you
where
came back,
grew
it
up.
was still.
My point is like we talk about like lighting LED show. Okay, cool. Like they have resources. They're great at it. Whatever they figured out. Like I'm just happy that in America, anywhere I go, I have a light. I have fucking like the other day I was showing my friend from Azerbaijan. I sent him some pictures of some houses on sale. Right. I was just showing. They were asking me some in like upstate New York is like, oh, it's great, but they probably don't have toilets, right? The system. I'm like sewers. Like you got to go to fucking hole to bathroom. I'm like, you bugging. What do you think this is? Like
okay, fine. But
like infrastructure.
But you're comparing us to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're comparing us to people that haven't achieved these things.
Yeah. I get it. I'm just,
Yeah. But, many parts of the place, they have bidets. They have bidets.
Where? Here?
Not here.
Oh,
not here.
I have a bidet.
I have a bidet too. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. It's like $20-$30 on Amazon and you washes your ass. Yeah. It's great. You kidding me? Yeah, and you don't have to fight in line for toilet paper in case of a pandemic.
Yeah, true. But I didn't want to be ethnocentric, when I was like complaining about that in America. Like, it's like people don't wash their butts like that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
It's seen as this like, I guess, high end. Like you gotta be rich and fancy to wash your ass.
Well, the one that you sit on the other one, like you I don't know why we're talking about this, but you take a dump on one toilet.
It's a big subject matter for me. Just
really? Okay, but then the fancy one is when you have space for both. For like there's a seat for where you take a dump and you sit on the other one
to wash.
That's a little.
That's
fancy.
what I need.
That's what
I want to move.
One, yeah.
And then wash because this is not the proper space.
Jesus, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So why not? Why? What the fuck? This is where all should we strive for. You tell me we shouldn't strive for this?
Well, how about those cookie cutter apartments in Greenpoint that are fucking like, they're tiny, they're shitty, and they charge you $2,500 per one bedroom.
And
like,
they do have a bidet?
I mean, clearly don't. There's no space for anything, right?
So who is the genius in this marketing goddamn company?
The Jews!
That came up with this idea not to install
So I'll tell you
$30 bidets
I'll tell you
to
more.
increase value to the fucking roof. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
Yeah, well, you gotta sell the bidet to the people, man.
How are you not? Bro, you're washing your ass
I know, but
with water.
It's weird. The market is a very difficult thing, you know. The market is like, you
what?
you don't dictate what the market is. People either want it or not.
There goes your whole capitalism idea, bro.
Well, why not? I mean, listen, you don't want it.
The dumb people don't want it,
But
so then we're not gonna have it.
Look at all the movie fucking scene. All the dumb movies are the most
Who's
popular
deciding
movies.
on that? Why don't you put
The
fucking
people,
bidet?
the people.
No, fuck you. It's not the people.
It is the people.
It's companies will profit
No,
more.
they don't. They profit on
There's
what the
no
dumb people want.
company out there fighting for profit and margins on bidets. That's the goddamn problem.
I don't think that's the problem.
I think that's the problem. You need a big company with a strong presence pushing bidets everywhere.
Well,
Wash your ass.
if people
But the
want,
problem is toilet paper companies are probably destroying those companies.
here's the thing. Like, there's a company like Tushy, which I use.
Uh-huh.
Tushy is the company that, they explain the bidet
Are
in
they
the best way
sponsoring the
possible.
podcast or no?
No, they should. But I use Tushy, and it's quite great. And they explained the bidet to the American people. They found the right language.
But it's not just American people. Everywhere you go, all over the world, there's people who don't
wash their butt.
abide by this mechanism.
Let's talk about America for now. Like, that's that's their market, but they're doing it right. They do it step by step. They might conquer the world next thing.
With bidets.
Sure, they might have bidets everywhere in the world.
Bidet army.
Yeah, bidet army.
I want to be the guy. Make me the guy. I want to be the bidet guy.
I think you are already a bidet guy. If I just cut out this piece, that's what you're gonna be remembered for.
I want to bring bidets to America and
They're
enrich everybody's
They're already
life.
here. I have it, so it's like
Yeah, I have it too, but I'm saying, like, I've come across a lot of conversations. I've come across a lot of interaction where I've mentioned this whole bidet piece, and I've gotten strange looks. I've gotten people disagreeing with me and stuff like that.
maybe you got strange looks for other things you've said.
The beard, the way I look.
I mean, you look fine in New York. You look fine. You look like a New Yorker, man. You look like you live in Williamsburg.
Yeah, but I don't.
I know you look where you are now. You in Philly? You said.
Yeah, north of Philly.
So what are you doing
in
here?
the woods?
Like, I mean, I know you came for a pot. Like, you stay here a little bit.
What are you doing? I mean, this fucking question, like, you guys are.
You guys, what the fuck does that mean?
You guys who asked this question, like, what are you doing now? What are you up to? It's like,
no, you live in. What are you doing?
I'm figuring it out. I don't know what to tell you.
That's the right thing to do, man.
I'm figuring it out. That's what I tell my wife. She's like, I don't know. Don't ask me, bro.
Well, you got 2 kids. You got wife.
Yeah, man.
How's that life? Balkan life of
stressful. I've been trying to add a second wife for a long.
Are you allowed?
I don't care. I've been trying to allow a second wife for a long time, and it's not happening.
No, right?
And I feel like I gotta get better.
At what?
I don't know. This second wife ability.
Second wife ability. Dude, I was in Egypt like when I was like young, like teenager, and I remember like those guys who had like 4 wives. Like they just like travel and go see. It's like impressive.
What?
It's impressive. Like he's like 50.
There's nothing.
And his wives go like from like 50, 40, 30, 20.
There's nothing wrong about this. And I'm sure there is wives who have multiple husbands and whatever the fuck.
I don't think that's happening, but yeah, I know
there
what
is
you mean.
happening. America is catching up to the rest of it. They're catching us up. But yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. If people are into it, excited about it, want to partake, it's just like a little experiment that you get to run.
Yeah, I guess so. Listen, I think people should chill more. I agree with that. Like, this much, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people get very emotional. People get very touchy with everything. There's a lot of anxiety. I would relate to all of that in the air. I'm done with that, especially like in New York. Honestly, that's the number one thing that I'm done with.
I feel like everybody's done, but there is just no good source of
everybody in our age.
Yeah. There's no good source of folk of people who are, I guess, free from this anxiety, and they can put into the collective this anxiety-free way of being. You know,
you gotta do it yourself. You really gotta separate yourself.
You gotta contribute to that.
You gotta figure it out, find your way to deal with this shit, and it's constant work. And unless you listen, here's
but that's cool though. I mean, work is good.
Sure. But here's the way I look at it. Like New York City is top 1% of 1% in the world. Like we are in the fucking this place of insane amount of money, right? Money. If you look at it as money is a social energy, right?
Yeah.
We are at this heat.
Yeah, hyper top of
generating this money and working so many hours. Yeah, it's
more
right. Constant process of that, right? So you have to deal with a lot of shit. It comes with a lot of punches in the face. People think it's just relaxed. Money grows on the
It's
on
not.
the trees.
It's not relaxed. It's never been relaxed.
So where's Bosnia and the Yugoslavia side? Is that more southern or?
What do you mean? I mean, Yugoslavia was smaller, man. We had 22 million.
So kind of the same, temperature and geographical location.
Bosnia's in the middle, and then when they divided this whole shit, they took all the coastline away from us. So all the coastline, the tourists and the business, was given to this this nation of Croatia, right? So they have this beautiful coastline, and just above it, the line for Bosnia is kind of drawn, and we get all these mountains and all this shit, and they get this beautiful coastline, tourism. Everybody wants to come to the Adriatic Sea. It's beautiful, but we get mountains and donkeys.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some nice.
So whoever drew those lines.
I mean,
we have beef.
Wasn't Stalin for sure?
No, yeah, Stalin tried. There was it was interesting because they had Stalin was trying to impose his way of things, and Tito was like,
no, nah. Not taking the shit.
Yeah, it was like, nah, bro, I don't think your style. That's cool, but I'm not doing it. And that was, I think, the good thing about Yugoslavia, because he was working with everybody. He was working with the West. He was working with the East. He was trying to put in the best things that he could. And I don't know why it seems to me that he failed with implementing stuff that would be there after him. Because after he died, Tito, things just fell and nobody picked it up, became even more chaotic, and that's it. 86, I think he was,
Yeah, well, it's already 6 p.m. Let's wrap this shit up.
No.
I would love to not do it.
But you're a busy man.
But we should do this again. Maybe sometime.
I didn't think I would like talking this much.
Oh yeah. Well, we should do separate a little bigger chunk of time.
Whatever. We don't have to make rules.
Let's do 5 hours.
We just freestyle it, bro. Why you give
No, but let's do it no rules, but let's have more
whatever.
time. So it's has to be.
I mean, this is on your end. You're the.
It was more my.
Yeah, you're the general manager.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got things going on.
Yeah, but
it's a beautiful thing. Things going on.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I got more prosecco next time, and we'll have a whole fridge.
And what about the wives? Can we bring some wives, or is that not cool for the podcast?
Well, depends what they're gonna do. While we do the podcast. If you let them talk, then no, I'm just kidding.
Opinions, no, no opinions.
Yeah. Listen, well, maybe by then you'll have your second wife, man. But
that'll be good.
though, because you gotta go to
I was actually hoping to use this platform that you've created
to attract some
to
Azeri
attract
girls.
some Azeri girls who are interested.
Are you American citizen?
Yeah,
That's
are you kidding me? Yo,
Dude.
I have all kinds of perks and
I'll
benefits.
hook you up.
Yeah, please. You know,
For
perks
sure.
and benefits.
Yeah.
Tall, blonde, American citizenship. What else?
Yeah, true. How tall are you? Like 6'4"?
Yeah, man.
6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, play basketball. Like, come on, bro.
All
At
American
least
guy.
two.
All American guy.
At least two.
Yeah.
I deserve at least two.
Yeah. Bro, but seriously though, it was fun having you.
Hell yeah,
We
hell yeah.
just
Same,
fucking
same, man.
went into
Yeah.
crazy space a little bit, but it was fun.
No, this feels normal.
Feels normal, right?
Feels normal.
Yeah, well, I don't have this experience every day like you do with your kids. Is that what you talk to your kids
Yeah,
about?
and the wife. Yeah, she was really happy that I get to go talk to somebody else.
All right, good. All right.
Awesome. Thanks,
Ajdin Драчич, thank you so much, brother.
Have a good
All
one,
right,
bro.
Let's give me a fist bump. All right.
man. All right, man.
Thank you.